A top House Republican is urging President Trump to confront the Chinese Communist Party over human rights, just weeks before a planned meeting with regime leader Xi Jinping. The focus: political prisoners, religious persecution, and forced organ harvesting inside China. NTD's Washington correspondent Jack Bradley has more.
With a high-stakes meeting on the horizon, pressure is building on the White House to take a harder line on Beijing. Michigan Congressman John Molinar, chairman of the House Select Committee on the CCP, sending letters to President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, calling on them to demand the release of prisoners of conscience during an upcoming meeting with CCP leader Xi Jinping, saying there are even credible reports of forced organ harvesting.
For $200,000 or $150,000, you can get a new heart in 2 weeks, right? It's just a kind of unbelievable thing to see, right? But why can that be done? Because the so-called donor is ready to be killed to order, already matched to you, right? The moment you pay that cash, they find the right person, they ship that person, and they kill that person to order.
In a state like China, the medical profession does not have actual professional autonomy, like it's an arm of the state. They created a market in the organs of their political enemies. You know, they were filling a demand.
Officials say the main victims of China's forced organ harvesting are practitioners of Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, a spiritual meditative practice based on truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. Due to its popularity with over 100 million people practicing in China, the CCP has been persecuting the group since 1999, even using a state-sponsored campaign of forced organ harvesting against them.
An international tribunal sitting in London has concluded that, quote, forced organ harvesting has been committed for years throughout China on a significant scale, and that Falun Gong practitioners have been one and probably the main source of organ supply.
In his letters, Congressman Molinar warns that human rights abuses under Xi have only intensified, saying the CCP under Xi Jinping has been carrying out the most systematic campaign of religious and political persecution since the Cultural Revolution, mentioning examples of Christians who refused to join state-controlled churches and they face detention, disappearance, or even worse. He also points to the mass detention of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang and erosion of Tibetan culture through the closure of Buddhist monasteries. Molinar is also pushing sanctions on Hong Kong officials over a crackdown on dissent and calling for the release of pro-democracy media figure Jimmy Lai, recently sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now, President Trump is expected to meet with Xi Jinping in May, and this could be a moment to see whether human rights take center stage. For NTD News Washington, I'm Jack Bradley.